What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sistas. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sistas fans, this is a fun video to do because a lot of people have been giving Jasmine props. I mean, and this isn't just me talking about my boo. It's just like I have never received so many messages. I feel like people have transferred the crush I had on Jean to my interest, if you will, in Jasmine, and have been sending me so many posts since Wednesday night. Clips of Crystal Lee and other projects like, oh, this is like Jasmine when she got caught by Gary when she was with Morris, or here's like a fun little flyer I made, or Jasmine getting her mug shot, and things like that. So people have really been deciding to clown me ever since the premiere, when she got arrested at the end. But overall, I've been seeing a lot of that's my girl. I think my favorite post is this one that was tweeted to me about, I can't believe Jasmine really thought, going in, she went into Andi's home trying to get revenge, and that was just hilarious in itself. But I don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, the season just started, and realistically, think about Jasmine's appearances. They've been sporadic. They've been key in getting people hyped because she's kind of like, Jasmine is to Andi what Team Rocket is to Ash in the Pokemon series. Like, Ash can be having a pretty good day, assuming he doesn't get defeated by a level 5 Snivy. We're not going to talk about that. But then all of a sudden, Team Rocket swipes in with a net, swipes Pikachu, and then he has to try to get his Pokemon back. That's pretty much Andi. It's like Jasmine is Team Rocket. She's throwing down the net to get Andi's happiness. So my biggest thing, and I remember saying this in the review, I got to say thanks for blowing the review up. I want to say by now it's almost at like 7,000 views. This is the kind of thing I feel like when it comes to Andi, and I feel like that's why even Gary has been more of a compelling character than Andi, because Andi has been so one note, judgmental, hypocritical, and annoying to an extent where she'll badger all of her friends for advice, hell, even Miss Irene. But then when she hears the truth, not necessarily what she wants to hear, she'll kind of brush it off and then make her own decisions anyway. It's kind of like somebody who reads the sign of like, elevator out of order, but because it doesn't say that it's in order like they want it to, they'll step in the elevator shaft and then fall several stories and get injured or die. I feel like the same can be said about Andi. Gary is the elevator shaft, and she continues Gary is the out of order elevator, so she just decides to just continue to walk into the shaft even though the damn sign is right there telling her not to. And then when she gets hurt, all of a sudden she wants to be coddled by her friends. And I feel like that's a terrible thing for a main character to do, especially when it's repetitive. So when it comes to characters like Jasmine, I mean, yeah, her antics might be out there, but the hell if they aren't entertaining. And believe it or not, I was on Hulu over the past couple of days just browsing around, and even though I don't know about you, but there have been several shows from back in the day that I loved as a kid, but for some reason, around maybe over the past few years, I don't know, I just haven't been huge fans of like the later seasons, whether due to like cast changing or the show just not being as good, or character assassination. I was watching some of the later episodes of Family Matters, when Steve began to kind of change, like he not necessarily Stefan, but he was less nerdy, if you will. Like he was walking without slouching as much. He was starting to dress more normal compared to his nerdy persona. And Myra broke up with him, and then he got together with Laura, and then she went on this whole revenge tirade and whatnot. Essentially, Myra became the Jasmine of the Family Matters series. And she became so unbearable, still fine as hell though. But at the same time, it's one of those things where Laura had been rejecting Steve for years. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm thinking Steve was definitely the annoying villain of that relationship, if you will. because no means no, man. Lay off. So you could look at Jasmine in the same respect. It's like, I feel like Gary has more depth than a lot of these characters. And I know that sounds weird to say. And look, I get it. I'm a guy, but I just have to put it out there. But the one thing I wanted to point out about this video is, when do I think Jasmine is going to return? And I feel like it's pretty clear based on the way Tyler Perry writes this stuff and how things play out. I think Jasmine would show up at Andi and Gary's wedding. Yes, I feel like the story would go that far. So before going further, because I know this was a weird introduction, but I just wanted to kind of put it all out there because the episode was really good. Like I said, it wasn't perfect. I think in my review, I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10, but overall, it was far more compelling than that season 2 finale. So a couple things. First of all, go ahead and like the video, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content on the channel, and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And also got to give it up to Crystal Lee Naomi for putting together her first brand commercial for She Hustlers. I'm so proud of her. So I'm going to go ahead and play that now so you can check it out. You know what? This is future Jeremy talking here prior to the editing of the video. Considering the video does have a musical score in it, I'm just going to mute it and then talk over it to avoid copyright. I literally forgot about that. But yeah, this is such a amazing thing because, we've been talking for a while. She's talked about, this brand idea she's had for a while. So, I mean, to actually see her go from the beginning stages to now putting out her own promo, I think is amazing. And I mean, go support. I'll put a link to She Hustler in the comment sections below, and even a link to the Instagram video so you can watch the full commercial, background music and all. Make sure to check it out. You'll find something you'll like, help out, because I'm pretty sure Jasmine's going to need bail money to get out of jail. But, I have to say that really proud. I feel like a, proud husband. Okay, I'm just kidding. But in any case, so going back to the Jasmine wedding situation, I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it on Wednesday night, right before Sistas came on for season 3, the final minutes of Nobody's Fool was playing? And I think like right after Tinka Sumter's character got the man at the end, even though, to be completely honest, he should have just left her out in the rain because she didn't deserve him. Tiffany Haddish broke up her ex-fiance's wedding. She just busted in there. I could see that being Jasmine, but I think this being Jasmine, this would have to be done in a major way. Now, there are 2 ways they can go about doing this. Number one, have it where Jasmine is just burst into the church. She got a crew. She just about to tear this stuff down. And then, we could possibly see the Sisters crew show up and, fight back. Here's how it could go. We know that in the promo where it looks like Andi's in wedding attire, she's like, you're my sisters, you're my girls, I need you, or don't leave me. And then it's like, they'll probably leave because they don't want to support this toxic relationship. I mean, if they find out about the whole shooting and everything, then I feel like they'll have even more rightful concern about the whole situation. And hell, I still don't think any of them know about the parking garage stalk and beat down. So I feel like at this point it's like, girl, just do you. We just don't want to be a part of it. I mean, we tried to help. We've tried to be there for you, but we're not going to be here for you through this. So I feel like if that happens, like the wedding photos or engagement photos or whatever, then they won't be at the wedding. And perhaps, they might change their mind at the last minute and show up and decide to rescue Andi from this onslaught so we can see a major, a major brawl. I feel like if nothing else, you're definitely going to see Jasmine versus either Danny or Karen. But that's if Jasmine just pops up mid-wedding. Like, of course, in true television fashion, when the pastor or whoever goes, if anyone objects to this union, let them speak now or forever hold your peace. And then that'll be the perfect time for her to show up. Or, I mean, well, heck, they tried to do that in Shrek, but that was funny. Or the alternative, and this is where I feel like, this is next level. Oh, I can really see this going down. Get to the wedding. Pastor does his thing, got the vows and everything. And then look, I have not seen any. I've not. Well, I've actually been in 2 weddings. Yeah, I've been in 2 weddings for friends. It's been a while since I've seen one on screen, but I forgot the exact order of operations. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but typically the wedding occurs, the vows are exchanged, and I pronounce you man and wife, and then the veil is lifted. Oh yeah, all I got to do is remember Coming to America. Duh, the veil is lifted, and then the groom sees his bride. Imagine if everything goes down. Gary lifts the veil to kiss his bride, and it's Jasmine. Well, first of all, that would mean that Jasmine would have to talk, and she doesn't sound like Andi. So, I mean, there could be that aspect of it. But to be honest, with Gary being Gary, he would probably want to do all the talking anyway. Let's just be 100% real about that. So, let's say the wedding goes through all the way, and he lifts the veil, and he's remarried to Jasmine again. And then it turns out Jasmine had knocked out, Andi, and she's like tied up. I mean, look. I didn't know this until Crystal Lee told me, because I could have sworn that Andi just used like a metal plate or something. Maybe she had that on her dresser holding things, but she took like a metal plate and whacked her upside the head. Apparently it was a laptop. I did not notice that, but yeah, like with Andi using a laptop, I could see Jasmine using like a desktop computer screen, because I mean, it's bigger, and let's be real, if there's one thing Jasmine does well, it's one up somebody. Except with the gun, because she unknowingly ran out of bullets, or she, but she pulled the trigger, so she had the intent to kill. So I'd imagine that's when the girls would show up to help Andi, and then there'll be a major showdown. And let's be real here. That would be one hell of a season finale. Like, we get all the way to the wedding, but then Jasmine shows up to ruin it. And let's be real. Like she said, this ain't over, bitch. I'm coming, bitch. So Jasmine is not gone for good, at least in my opinion. This seems like a too easy, clean-cut way to do it. And I mean, we have to wait until this week's episode, but I'm still not convinced that this entire situation was legit, because those cops and everything, a lot of things don't seem right from the fact that they just so happened to be right outside of Andi's door when she opened it. The cops, nobody took Gary to the hospital. Oh, it's not bloody. Oh, you can go see him. There are just so many things that don't make sense at all. So when it comes down to the situation with Jasmine, was she really arrested? And I mean, for them to just say, oh yeah, I think you need a restraining order. She shot her ex-husband in the chest twice. Like, I'm no expert on this kind of stuff, but wouldn't that be attempted murder, meaning that she would be locked up? So why would you say restraining order? Something doesn't seem right about this. So yeah, this was some elaborate ruse, and it makes no damn sense. Or this could just be wacky Tyler Perry land writing. But in any case, I think Jasmine should return for the wedding, if there is one, because I feel like that would just be batshit crazy. And I feel like Sisters, if nothing else, ups the ante. Which honestly, when you think about it, I feel like that's what makes the Zach and Fatima thing so refreshing, or a fan favorite, because a lot of these girls have just been going in a loop of the same old drama with the same people. That's like, if you don't learn your lesson by now, why should I be invested? Why should I care? So when you see a genuine couple like Zach and Fatima, or Danny and Preston, that's the ones we root for. So that's what I think. I think Jasmine should come back for the wedding arc, if you will. But then that brings about an even weirder question. If Jasmine busts up the wedding, and this is her last hurrah, whether she gets killed, arrested, or put away for good behind bars, would Andi still go through with it? Or will she finally open her eyes and be like, look, I can't live every waking moment of my life with the thought of Jasmine randomly popping up to ruin our lives. So there's that. Not to mention, it's like Jasmine is being... Isn't it crazy? Look, tell me if I'm wrong, but the definition of insanity is constantly doing the same thing over and over again the same way, expecting different results. Who's the more insane one? Is it Andi or is it Jasmine? Sure, Jasmine is the more theatrical villain, if you will, or the insane person in her antics, but she changes it up. She went from, passing out flyers, cursing out Andi to her face, to confronting her in a parking garage for a group beatdown. Then she pops up with a gun. So if nothing else, Jasmine is the one who's upping the ante, and Andi's the one who she only gets by via luck. If Fatima didn't show up when she did, there's no telling how far that fight would have been. Not to mention Hayden was there the whole time recording on his phone. So, I mean, would he have jumped in, or would he have been like, you know what, screw it, she can fend for herself? And with the Jasmine thing, apparently she ran out of bullets. Like, seriously, that's the only reason that Andi's still alive. Go back to that scene. The only reason that Jasmine didn't kill Andi was because she had run out of bullets. Because after the title sequence went off, she's like, Jasmine, no. You can hear her pulling the trigger. Jasmine was going to kill her, even though I still don't understand why Jasmine didn't just shoot Andi instead of deciding to go back to Gary to start kicking him. Anyway, with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to check out the She Hustler brand. And if you have any questions or any other potential theories or discussions you want me to do about the series, before Wednesday night's episode, feel free to let me know. And we'll go from there. But as always, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.